Here I come with my bag of walnuttos. Look at this decrepit, corrupt Biden. The gallons of whiskey. He looks like he's rotted from the inside out.
Biden wants to surrender our country to the violent left-wing mob. You see what's happening?
Yes, he does.
Biden wins. Very simple. China wins.
She
If
should.
Biden wins, the mob wins. If Biden wins, the rioters, anarchists, arsonists, and flag burners.
Yes, sir.
The flag burners. I've condemned every form of violence, no matter what the source is. No matter what the source is.
Yeah, really? So when Maxine Waters told her constituents to get in people's faces, attack congressmen, you condemn that? I don't remember you condemning that. When all these libtards took to the streets and burned their cities down? What were you saying along with the likes of Governor Cuomo? They were peaceful protests. I need ventilators. I need more ventilators. Right? They were peaceful protests, right, Dirty Joe? You were against violence, Dirty Joe? When you said the people won't stand for Trump appointing a judge on his watch?
The president has yet to condemn, as you've probably noticed, the far right and the white supremacists and those guys walking around with the AK-47s.
Oh, really?
Not doing a damn thing about it.
Okay, Dirty Joe. Were they burning down cities? Were they pulling down statues? Were they molesting people at restaurants? Dirty Joe? Were they right-wingers? Were they Klansmen, Joe? Hey, Joe, hold on to your diaper, because I'm going to tell you something, pal. If the right wing in this country starts, well, go listen to the words of Horst Wiesellied. Yeah, the Nazi national anthem. Go get edified about what happens when right-wingers get fed up with the lack of justice, the lack of honesty. When the shysters took over Germany, that's what happened. Joey boy, shysters like you, selling their country out to Bolsheviks, lying to the people's face. Yeah, that's your ilk, Joey. You remember elections have consequences?
No, this is Donald Trump's America. You feel safer in Donald Trump's America when he incites these kinds of things? The idea is it's wrong no matter what the source is, where it comes from.
So when did Donald Trump, Dirty Joe, incite any of those riots? Because I remember all you libtards on the left saying, you're taking it to the streets. That was Donald Trump? When the mayor of New York City, while his city is crumbling, while crime is exploding, while murders and mayhem we need Batman in New York City, Joey. And while all that was going on, what was de Blasio doing? Painting a giant BLM mural in front of Trump Tower to spite Donald Trump. Oh, how so intellectually mature. Right, Joey? That wasn't inciting riots and mayhem. That wasn't green lighting and gaslighting. No, not in your mind, Dirty Joe, because you agree with them. You're a facilitator for the communist Chinese mob. You're a facilitator for corrupt governments like the previous government in Ukraine that has now been dissolved. And Joey, the clock is ticking. You and Hunter are going to end up either in jail or worse. And when all the stuff comes out on Obama and all those crooked FBI guys with their false visas, you know, Joe. And for all you good Americans out there, remember how dirty this FBI was. And remember this, if you see something, say nothing. Because all they care about is policing you and I. All they care about is taking away our freedom and our money. Because they're all got rich. Go down to Virginia and see how these FBI agents all live. While they bop each other's wives. They live in these exclusive neighborhoods like Fawn Lake, and they have pervert parties. I've known this for over 30 years. Yeah, because one of my buddies who worked for those creeps, she's a Christian woman, and she would tell me how repulsed she was. Yeah, played musical chairs with each other's wives, the legal beagles of the FBI.
People should be held accountable. But folks, I'm waiting for the day when he says, I condemn all those white supremacists. I condemn those militia guys as much as I do every other organization.
So you people all saw what damage the militia people did, right? You saw. There were so many right-wingers burning down cities. Where were they? How come I never saw it? And while the left was burning down the cities and doing damage to police cars and killing cops and molesting citizens, Joey Biden talked about peaceful protests. So once again, to a liberal, your lying eyes aren't to be believed because Joey has feelings. And nobody ever said or accused my son Hunter of being a crook. Nobody ever said that. You imagine him saying that? Even the most left-wing newspapers have to sit and stare at that pile of fecal matter. Hunter Biden. Now I want you to think, what if that was Trump on videotape saying, yeah, if you don't fire this guy that I don't like in your government, you're not going to get $1 billion. Could you imagine if they had Trump on video saying that? Could you imagine if Donald Trump Jr. was caught taking millions of dollars from one of our, well, let me say it correctly, our greatest adversary in history, Communist China? This is such a fundamental difference. This is good and evil. This isn't right wing, left. This is absolutely good and evil. You can put down all the false costumes and flags. This is good versus evil. Now, Trump is a human being. He's not perfect. But on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best you could be, he may be the only 10 this country ever had because he's not a political hack. And that alone intrinsically makes him exactly what the founding fathers wanted to lead this country. They didn't want a political, professional, prostitutive class of Praetorians. They didn't want that. They wanted farmers and merchants and business people to rule over us so they could identify with you and I. Not some hack like Pelosi and her $1 million estate with her security all around her telling you to drop your gun. And you don't have a job, you don't have any food, you're living in the street of LA where it's okay, because she's got $50,000 refrigerators full of gourmet ice cream. Let's see Marie Antoinette top that. And on video, does she celebrate her tenacity, her ostentatious tenacity? I just made up a word. While she fills her face with ice cream. I mean, I've never even read about this kind of stuff. I mean, I could quote Callisthenes, Pausanias, Herodotus. I mean, I go back in history all the time. Every day I read history. Never heard of anything like this. Never. Never. These lefties are so evil, it's off the chart.